I always find it funny when someone mentions the Switch and tells me they got Mario with it. From Odyssey and Mario Maker 2 to Mario Kart 8 and 3D All-Stars, my response is always, which one? And that list just keeps getting bigger and bigger. A recent addition to it is 3D World, one of the Wii U's big multiplayer Mario games. Nintendo also thought to give us something new with it, bringing back the open world feel of Odyssey and a rendition of Bowser that looks like it came out of the Dark Souls universe. Here is my review of Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury for the Nintendo Switch. This is a sort of collection, so we've got two stories here. 3D World is about Bowser infiltrating the Sprixie Kingdom. One of their princesses appears to Mario and the crew before being kidnapped like the rest of them. The crew then follows through a warp pipe to traverse the Sprixie Kingdom and rescue the princesses. This is a pretty cute little story, though there isn't much to it. 3D World doesn't even have dialogue and everything is shown to you visually. Bowser's Fury, on the other hand, is a different story. Mario falls into a strange giant lake and witnesses a terrifyingly large and berserk Bowser causing havoc. An unlikely alliance is then forged as Bowser Jr. asks Mario to help him restore Bowser to his normal self. Admittedly, there isn't much story here either, but you get the feeling like there is with Bowser Jr.'s dialogue that you get as you trek through the adventure. When it comes to gameplay, this is a set of 3D platformers with collectathon and open world elements. Now first of all, both of these games are available from the get-go. You can dive right into Bowser's Fury with a simple tap of the D-pad the first time you start the game. We should also talk about some differences as 3D World was originally on the Wii U. Most of these are fairly small with the running speed of characters changing, though we do get a new photo mode allowing you to take a close look at all of the adorable cat-themed happenings in these games and make some memories. Another little convenience thing I noticed was ground pounding into warp pipes. Normally, you have to stand on and tap a button to start the slow animation and go to the next area. This new version, however, has you instantly disappear into the pipe and skips the animation. This is very similar to how it is done in Super Mario Odyssey and is a nice convenience. Even new Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe on the Switch doesn't do this quickly. Now, diving more into that first adventure, 3D World is a 3D platformer with a large focus on co-op multiplayer. You can do this online or locally with up to 3 other players, with your co-op buddies being able to join a match even if you're in the middle of a stage. The game is divided into the explorable course maps where you start stages and the stages themselves. The map is a little more than just a map, as you can deviate from the course and see some little explorable and side areas that you can utilize for extra collectibles and coins. Like in previous games, you unlock new stages as you clear previous ones, as well as collecting green stars that are used to open up the bigger, more boss-oriented levels. Now when it comes to the stages, 3D is the name of the game. Everything you explore is in 3D and there is a large emphasis on depth, though not in the same way as games like Mario 64 or Odyssey. You have a non-standard camera with angles that you can move around in segments. Overall, the game is definitely 3D, but is shown in an almost isometric style. The other unique bits about this game are something Mario Maker 2 players have already seen. We've got clear pipes that give you quick transitioning between areas, the golden bell that turns characters into cat versions of themselves, and the Captain Toad minigames that eventually became the full game Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. Overall, this is a pretty fun system with a bunch of secrets around specific characters. Bowser's Fury is the new addition and a small game in and of itself. The co-op aspect is still here, though 2-player co-op instead of 4. It also gives single-player fans the convenience of an AI-controlled Bowser Jr., helping you in combat but also holding a lot of power-ups that you can call to him with the D-pad to give you at any given time. But the way you play is extremely different. Instead of being in individual stages, there is one giant free roam or open world area. There are still staged areas, but they're all thrown into the single map with no need for a hub. You simply walk through a gate nearby and start collecting shines, Bowser's Fury's collectibles. This is very similar to the sandbox Mario games and will allude back to Mario Odyssey, both with how you collect all of the shines and the giant bells that require a certain number of them before you can fight Bowser. Speaking of, that is your main goal. You're encouraged to explore and collect shines as quickly as possible so you can do another boss fight. After all, Fury Bowser will appear in the world and attack incrementally. You can't fight back until you get enough shines to interact with the bell and become Mega Cat Mario, so a lot of these segments will have you trying to collect shines while also hiding from Bowser's attacks. This is pretty fun, but when you get enough shines to do those boss fights, it really is a blast. Fighting Fury Bowser as Mega Cat Mario is like watching a kaiju fight. As a huge fan of the genre, to me, these were like a wacky scenario of an evil Gamera having a fight with King Caesar. It's pretty exhilarating and a ton of fun every time you do it. Now let's dive into content and length. Each of these games has a good amount of content to trek through, though Bowser's Fury is a bit on the shorter side. To give you an example, it took me about 8 hours to trek through 3D World and get its final boss done, and Bowser's Fury took me around 5 hours. Now of course, both of these games do have extra stages and shines that unlock for the post-game. While not everybody wants to do that, going through the extra worlds to unlock Rosalina in 3D World was pretty cool, along with getting more shines to see Bowser's Fury's secret ending. So, presentation. This is a pretty visually pleasing game. It looks great and crisp in docked mode, while handheld mode has a little bit of a blur to it. Performance-wise, it's pretty good overall. 3D World is a smooth 60 FPS in both docked and handheld modes, though Bowser's Fury does sacrifice that a little bit. It's 60 FPS in docked mode, but drops to 30 in handheld mode. It's still very smooth, but is very noticeable when you undock your Switch. There was also a weird FPS issue that happened in Bowser's Fury. Sometimes when Fury Bowser intrudes on the open world, the frame rate drops a bit. The weird thing is, this didn't start happening until I'd already beaten the game and was collecting in the post-game. I researched this a bit and didn't notice it as much in handheld mode, though with that already being down to 30 FPS, maybe it just has to do with the extra stuff on the map and keeping it at 60. But we shouldn't get too far into that. Let's talk about battery life. On the original model, Super Mario 3D World has a battery range of 2 hours and 9 minutes up to 3 hours and 28 minutes. On the Nintendo Switch Lite, it has a range of 2 hours and 16 minutes up to 3 hours and 39 minutes. And on the Redbox V2 2019 model, it has a range of 4 hours and 43 minutes up to 6 hours and 12 minutes. In conclusion, this is a nice collection of 3D platformers to enhance the Switch's library of Mario games. Now on the downside, there are some odd frame drops in Bowser's Fury's post-game. But if you can deal with those issues, it is a cool and polished collection of games that both linear and open world Mario fans can enjoy. Reviews to go rates Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury for the Nintendo Switch an 8.5 out of 10. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them below. Thank you for watching and have a great day.